in the history of the United States. And it happened because we have an economy that doesn't work for everybody when it grows. And that's what is at stake in this election. There are candidates on this ballot, but what's really on the ballot is our democracy. The chance to be able to create an economy that works for everybody, the chance to be able to create schools that actually lift kids out of poverty rather than reinforcing the economic inequality they have, the chance to pursue real climate policy that can make the United States the leader in this transition of the global economy, so we can fix our broken immigration system and make sure that farms and ranches stay in the United States instead of moving south looking for labor. The list is long and you don't have the time to listen to my list. But I want to tell you that's what's at stake. And I think if we work incredibly hard, if we do the work that all of you know you can do, and then a little bit more and a little bit more, we may not win every race in the country, but we might just save a majority of Democrats in the United States Senate, and even more important than that, we might just save this democracy. And in my mind, that is a fight worth having, that is a fight worth winning, and I want you to know I will be with you every single step of the way. Thank you for being out here today. Thank you for being out here today. Now, I don't get to introduce today one of the greatest congressmen and Congress people in Congress, Jason Crowe, your congressperson. And I don't get to introduce one of the greatest attorney generals in the United States, somebody I've known forever. But I do get to say a word about our governor, who has been an incredible partner over, and I also don't get to introduce Dave Young, our state treasurer, who's standing right there. Jared Polis was a member of the Congress when I arrived in the Senate. We were partners throughout the time that he was there, or at least the time that I was there, and he has been an incredible leader for our state during an incredibly difficult time. Nobody signs up to be the governor of a state or the mayor or the superintendent of schools during something like COVID. And I think of all 50 governors, he did the best job. He's done the best. He's done the best job. And as governor, you know, he has worked tirelessly to try to lower costs for working families at a time when they're facing tremendous inflationary pressure. And by the way, one thing, for those of you that are going to be knocking on doors, you need to remind people that if you look at the UK, if you look at the European Union, if you look at Canada, they're facing exactly the same inflation that we're facing. I'm not making an excuse, that's just the truth. When it comes to energy prices, when it comes to food prices. Difference is that Democrats are working hard to try to figure out how to solve it, while Republicans have been making matters worse. And the playbook we should be following is the one that Jared Polis is giving us. So with that, let me introduce you to my friend, our great governor.
Thank you, Senator Michael Bennett. So, who cast their ballot already? Did folks say, okay. So, as long as you're telling the truth, I'm confident in saying that I am your Democratic nominee for governor of Colorado. Our family cast our ballot too, Marlon and I. That's at least one vote. Marlon was hoping to have me home more with the kids, I think. So Diane Primavera, our lieutenant governor, and I are honored to be chosen as your nominee for governor of the great state of Colorado. We have a lot of work ahead of us to move forward as a state, helping Coloradans hold on to more of your hard-earned money, strengthening our state's response to wildfires and natural disasters, protecting our families and expanding background checks on guns, providing free full-day kindergarten, universal preschool, invested in our public schools, reducing class size, and of course, what's at stake, defending our freedom, defending our right to choose, the right to marry who we love, the right to vote, so critical to the process of our republic itself. This is what's on the ballot this November. In the past week, we've seen how far Republicans are willing to go to take away our freedoms, to have big government make decisions rather than us, taking us backward rather than forward. This election, we have a choice. We can embrace problem solving over extremism. We can roll up our sleeves and get things done to make sure that Colorado and America's best days are still ahead of us, which I firmly believe. We can fight for more opportunity. We can fight for more freedom, for more choice, for individual responsibility. We can make Colorado one of the 10 safest states in the country. We can fix our roads and bridges and improve transit and improve our air quality, meet our climate goals, and show that Colorado innovation can lead the way. We are so excited to open this campaign office here in Aurora, and I hope that all of you here are regulars and we'll all be coming by and helping, because we know that this election is won or, God forbid, lost on the ground. It's the calls we make, it's door to door, it's texting, all of the things and whatever you're comfortable with, right? We hope that people go door to door, and many of you will. If you're not comfortable door to door, we have texting, we have phone calls. This is the way we reach out, and this is the way we win, so that Colorado can move forward. Forward for freedom and choice, forward for saving people money, forward for investing in our schools, forward with good paying jobs and a great quality of life, and forward with protecting our environment, our outdoor areas, and the Colorado that we love. You are privileged here in the 6th Congressional District to have an amazing member of Congress. He flipped his seat, read the blue, part of the majority makers, helped give the speaker gavel to Nancy Pelosi, and he has done an amazing job fighting for the 6th Congressional District and for all of Colorado ever since. It is my honor to introduce the Congressman from the 6th Congressional District, Jason Crowe.
Thank you, Governor Polis, Michael Bennett, Phil Weiser, Morgan Carroll, Dave Young, and I want to give a shout out to the Arapahoe Dems, to the leadership, to Kristen, to the executive committee, to the volunteers, to everybody that makes this operation run. I love you all. You are amazing. I see you work in the trenches day in, day out to win elections and get great people in position to make a difference, and it means a lot to me. So thank you to all of you. But this is a moment for straight talk, I think. It's tough. It's really tough right now. I know there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of hurt. There's a lot of anger. I know it, I feel it. I've talked to many of you in the last week about it. I feel it myself. And it's okay to feel that because what's happening is not okay. We are at a point now where we have woken up a couple of mornings ago in a country and a society and a community with fewer rights for our brothers and sisters, for our children, than what we woke up a week ago today. And we're all here, you all do this work, because you are the type of people who want to engage and make a difference. You're the type of people who fundamentally want to leave a better country and community for our children and our grandchildren than the one we inherited. And right now, we can't say that. We can't. And I know that it can feel hopeless. I know that you can sit back and say, what is the next step? How do we address this? Hopelessness is a real problem, a real challenge, right? Because you're engaged. You're trying to do the fight. You're trying to do the work. But I actually was struck by something. I went to the march, the rally at the Capitol last night. How many of you were at that rally? A bunch of folks. I went to that rally last night. There was about 4,000 or 5,000 people rallying for women's rights, abortion rights, and for the ability of a woman or a person to have an abortion in America. And one of the speakers did something that really was kind of profound and impacted me, and that was that hope is not a state of mind, but it's a discipline. Hope is a decision. And I couldn't help but think about the shoulders that we stand on and the people that preceded us in generations past, the last fighters, the activists, and how they felt and how they struggled against hopelessness. Because we know the suffragettes did. We know the freedom riders did. We know veterans have at war. Right? But they carried on and they pushed through. And they won hard-earned freedoms for us. And the story that I take from that, I guess the lesson I take from that is, this is our time. Right? We're now in that position. We don't have the choice. This has been thrust upon us. And we didn't choose it, we didn't want it. We certainly didn't want this fight, and we wish it was not here. But that's not our decision to make. It is here. Our decision to make is whether or not we make the decision to fight and do what those in the past have done at great personal expense and cost to get the job done and to move forward. That's our decision. Hope is a discipline. So the message here today is that we don't have the luxury of losing hope. As much as we might struggle with that. And it's okay to struggle with that. And it's okay to come together and console each other in tough times. This is our time. It's our fight. They're coming for us. This is a political fight. Make no mistake. This is about winning elections. If we lose elections, people that want to do bad things will get into office and they will do bad things. And they will hurt millions of Americans. If we win, we can stop them, and we can advance. This is a political fight, and yes, it matters. Right? The Democratic Party isn't always perfect. I'll be the first to admit that, and I'll call that out when it happens. But it does matter when Democrats get elected in office. And it does matter when you have people that are willing to fight for truth. So folks, we have a couple of months to come together as a family, and we'll have the tough discussions as we always have as a family, to come together, fight, and win elections, and stop them, and start getting back on the path to a more perfect union. And I usually ask people for support, but tonight instead I'm going to give you my pledge. I will give all of myself to this. You have all of me, without reservation. Every inch of my being, every second of my time to this project. So if you join with me, I will give you everything I've got. We will fight, we will win, and we will make a difference. Thank you.
Let's hear it for Congressman Crowe. Before I introduce our next speaker, I also want to introduce from CD6 State Board of Education, Rebecca McClellan. We need to re-elect Rebecca McClellan. The majority of the State Board of Education is on the line. Please do what you can for her as well. I think everyone in Colorado and in America really realize the importance of who you have as your Attorney General, the people's lawyer, the person who's going to sue, to defend, and to advance the rights we have, the gains we have made. And I cannot think of anyone I would rather have fighting for me and my rights and my life and everything that I have ever fought for freedoms in this country. It is a position that deeply matters in Colorado and around the country. And like was said before, his list of accomplishments in his first term is lengthy and worth familiarizing yourself. We should all be incredibly proud of our Attorney General, Phil Weiser. With that, I'm going to introduce you to Phil. We need to get him re-elected in this 2022 election. It is not a given. It is not a given. It is not a given. These statewide down ticket seats took us 82 years before we won all of them again, and we could lose it in a heartbeat. So please, let's remember our down ticket offices as well, and it's my pleasure to introduce our Attorney General, who needs no introduction.
Jason got real, and so I'm going to start there. My grandmother gave birth to my mom in a concentration camp. and was liberated by the U.S. Army. And they came to the United States of America because of our ideals: freedom and opportunity for all. Those ideals are why they became Democrats when Harry Truman was president. Those ideals, freedom and opportunity for all, is what is at stake. It's what we stand for as Democrats. As we think about this moment, Jason's point about hope is crucial. Another word, faith. Do we have faith in those ideals? Do we have faith that we will work towards a more perfect union? Do we have faith that we will be a nation with liberty and justice for all? It is hard to have faith right now. And what my grandmother's story teaches me, you should not be overly optimistic, but you must have faith. And I asked her, Bubby, which is what I called her, how did you survive and then give birth to a child? How did you believe in a better future? And she would say to me, it's easier to believe. She would tell us all, hold on to faith, hold fast to what is good, believe in a better future. And that's how I grew up. And when I see the course of American history, we've been through dark times. We've seen dark decisions from the Supreme Court. We saw the Dred Scott decision. We saw the Lochner decision. And now the Dobbs decision will be on that list. But you know what else we saw? We saw people organizing, people engaging, people doing the work to fight for their freedoms, to fight for opportunity for all, to fight for an economy that works for all, not just the wealthy few. We are in the beginning stages of this fight. There is much more work to do, which is why I will see Jason's pledge and I will raise it.
How did you raise me? I already said everything.
I'm not just everything in this election, but the next election and the election after that, because it's not going to end with one election cycle. And I'm going to raise them because I get to represent the whole state. I love Arapahoe County. And I love all other 63 counties too. Which is why I've shown up in every county.
They don't love you
as
as much as Arapahoe, though.
And I'll keep showing up. Because the other thing we as Democrats have to do is show up and make sure people know we care about them. And as the people's lawyer, that's the record we worked hard to do. Getting $400 million to provide drug treatment and recovery service for those struggling with addiction. Provide $40 million back to consumers who were preyed on and deceived because companies lied to them. We got them their money back. $35 million in student debt relief for people who were taken advantage of and who couldn't afford to even own a home, but they got money back and they can do that now. Protecting our land, air, and water, and brace yourself for another bad Supreme Court decision on taking the power of the EPA. We've been fighting to protect our land, air, and water, and the role of states will be more important than ever. We're going to also continue to protect public safety. How do we improve it so we can have law enforcement that we trust, that is fair, that keeps us safe and treats us all the way we want to be treated, and that's smart about dealing with issues like the school-to-prison pipeline and helping people re-enter after they've served so they end up back in prison. We've got more work to do. And the reason I want a second term is not only of the challenges of this moment, but we've built a team to serve the people of Colorado. And we've got more work to do on all these fronts. I so appreciate you all. Thank you for your engagement.
Let's hear it for Attorney General Bill Weiser. Who's going to meet Jason's pledge and then Phil's pledge to go all in to get these guys reelected? I want to see a show of hands. Who's in it for democracy? I want to thank you guys so much. We have another candidate that we need to re-elect that I'm going to introduce you to, and very briefly, I want to recognize the Arapahoe County officers, and we have some other candidates. If you guys could just raise your hands so people can come and meet you, and thank you for the work that you are doing locally and on behalf of the state. We appreciate it. So there's really only one Dave Young, the most exciting person to march with in a pride parade. Like the Colorado Democratic Party felt like we had fans everywhere. It was really great. Like he really knows how to pump up a crowd. But authentic, down to earth, a heart rooted in education, was an incredible legislator, and has really thought outside the box of what can we do to make the state treasurer's office do more to serve the people of Colorado. And I know he'll take just a minute and tell you about some of what he's doing, but this is one of those seats a lot of voters don't know a lot about. And these folks have been doing the work to put money back in people's pockets. And the more you know about what they're doing, the more you're gonna be able, when you're canvassing or if you're phone banking, to explain, why do we all need to care who our state treasurer is? It really, really matters. It is my pleasure to introduce Colorado State Treasurer Dave Young.
It's an honor to stand before you. It's been an honor for 3.5 years to serve as your state treasurer, and I am excited to run for a second term. I'm ready to hit the ground running. And you know what I noticed when the governor appeared? He had those blue sneakers on, didn't he? And it's going to be interesting because we need to hit the ground running. We need to get our sneakers on. You know how you win elections? Get out there and knock those doors. Get out there and talk to your friends and family. Tell them how important this is. You know, we hear this saying over and over again, elections have consequences. And I think sometimes it becomes kind of a theoretical exercise, not after this past week or two. It's not theoretical anymore. We see the consequences. We see the results of a Republican Party that wants to divide and tear us down. But that's not our democratic value. Our democratic value is unity, right? United we stand, divided we fall. And we stand for inclusion. I'm about workplace democracy. I want to lift people up. I want to make sure that their voice is heard. I want to make sure that we spend our money on our values. And that's very important. We have the lowest competitive teacher salaries in the country right now. We need to do something about that. We need to lift our educators up and make sure that we actually have a highly qualified, very effective instructor in front of every student so that they can reach their full potential. As a junior high teacher for almost 25 years, this is near and dear to my heart, and I'm gonna up Jason another one and pull another one. I will never quit driving for increased and effective funding for our K-12 schools here in the state of Colorado. So I want to talk to you about retirement. So how many people care about retirement? Well, you can't wait till you're my age to start worrying about that. You got to start early, right? As a matter of fact, we have 1 million people here in the state of Colorado that don't have access to a retirement savings plan at work, and they're not able to save for retirement as a result. But guess what? In October, the Treasury, through my leadership, is going to launch a pilot program, and in early 2023, we're going to offer that 1 million people an opportunity to save for retirement so that they can be sustainable and dignified as they move through their career and into retirement. As a matter of fact, keep applauding because everybody deserves a sustainable and dignified retirement, right? Including our public employees. So I sit on the Carroll board, and we've had a fantastic few years. There was a down year, the year that Walker Stapleton left the Treasury, but we've been steaming along, and I stand to protect the compensation and retirement for our public employees as well. So I'm dedicated to make sure that that all these things happen, and you know why? Because I'm a hard-fired, Weld County Democrat. Yeah! I have won 4 tough elections as a union leader and as an educator, and I'm counting on your support as I go for a 5th one. Arapahoe County as a Weld County Dem, you're my role model. You've done it. You've shown the way. We won't quit fighting. We're going to fight through this and make sure we bring everybody up in unity to have a better day in the state and the country. Thank you for your support.
Let's hear it for State Treasurer Diane. We're with you, Dave. So we wouldn't be bringing you here together for an office opening to just, I mean, we love each other, right? We have great company. But we're going to ask you to do something, because every election involves all of us doing what we can with what we have, with the time we have, with the resources we have. So I'm excited to introduce you to an organizer here locally, and she's going to tell you what you can do to save our democracy. The democracy we've heard from all these people, it's where the rubber meets the road. It's my pleasure to introduce you to one of our local organizers here, Benny Mahonda.
Thank you so much. All right. Thank you. So my name is Benny Mahonda. I am a field organizer here at the Arapahoe County Dems office. Thank you. First of all, I would like to thank you guys for coming here, and I also would like to thank everyone here, including Governor Polis, who inspired me to wear the cowboy hat because he wore one at the Pride Parade, so here we are. They also made my job a lot harder because they've done this multiple times, and speaking in front of a crowd is, whew. So yeah. Thank you. So of course I would like to start with my story. I am definitely a native kid, a hometown kid. Woo! I went to Eastridge, so school is a big thing for me. Cherokee School District kid. Woo! Graduated from Overland. Yes. Graduated from Overland, and one thing that Overland was very big on is community. This really impacted me to involve myself in the community. My first chance with the election was actually through Governor Polis. I phone banked and I canvassed for Governor Polis as a 17-year-old undocumented student. A lot of times people ask, what can you do to include yourself in an election? Civic duty, of course, for a lot of people is voting, but there's more to that. It's talking to your neighbors through canvassing, knocking at doors, speaking to your community members, speaking to your church members. Everyone around you has a way to impact this election. There's also phone banking, calling people. All of you guys are here because we definitely called you guys here, and you guys felt the need to be here as well, so we appreciate that. There's definitely a canvassing event happening this weekend. We have one Saturday, 1 through 4. We're meeting here at the Arapahoe County Dems office. There's also one Sunday, 3 to 6 p.m., just knocking doors, talking to your community members, meeting them where they're at, because your voice can also impact someone as much as all these people have impacted me. I definitely want to encourage you guys to sign up with anyone with a clipboard. I think there's a few of us. Yes, there's a clipboard. Definitely sign up, speak to us. We are definitely open to speaking to you guys, and everyone here wants to speak to you guys. They want to hear your opinions. They want to hear your concerns of how we can make Arapahoe County a great community, and not only Arapahoe County, but the whole state. This is what we're all here for. We're here for each other, and this is how we move forward. So thank you again for being here. I'll keep it brief, so yeah.
All right, let's hear it for Benny, for our staff, for our organizers, for our volunteers. But really, it's been, you know, the last couple of years with COVID, our superpower is canvassing. Our superpower is connecting with people, meeting them where they're at, and we did a phenomenal job adapting where we needed to do. But coming back out in a place where we can talk with one another and talk with our neighbors. At the end of the day, what we have are candidates who are hardworking, highly qualified, who deeply care, who listen, who at the end of the day all want to do what we can to make a better state and a better country for everyone. So the black helicopter's here. Anyway, that wraps up our program for the Aurora office opening. You're welcome to stay, talk to folks. A lot of our speakers here have to get to the Denver office opening, so if they walk in a hurry, don't take that personally. They've got another time commitment they're meeting. But I really want to thank you on behalf of our whole ticket. Please remember, bottom up, locals, starting with county, all the local races. We have to keep our majority in the State House and the State Senate. We are a refuge of rights only because of the majorities that we narrowly hold on to. All of our majorities are at risk. CU Regents, State Board of Education, the Colorado House, the Colorado Senate. So everywhere that we have like blown it out of the water in 2018 and in 2020, we won everything. We got the majorities of everything. That means we have everything to lose. And the country is counting on us to be the refuge and the model for what everywhere else can be. So thank you for what you've done. And we will see you at the doors. Again, the clipboard right back here, the organize, vote, organize is a clue. She will gladly. And yeah, then we've got a petition here for Initiative 63 without raising taxes. See Melissa, who's subtly jumping up and down, allowing us to take a fraction of those TABOR refunds and go to the state education fund and give our hardworking teachers a raise. So she will take your signature if you have not signed that. And thank you for being you, for caring, for showing up, for working and doing what we need to do to save our democracy. Have a wonderful evening.